Hey everyone, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. I'm back. My power's been out since Tuesday. Power came on Friday night. So that was the longest I've ever gone without power. And I realized as soon as I say that, everyone's going to be like, oh, hey, I was out of power for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. It still sucks all the same. But it's great to be back. And I've never thought like how much I would appreciate. I was thinking I'm going to celebrate as soon as the power comes on. It'll be like I'm going to turn on every light in the house. And I don't know, just whatever I can do to enjoy the power. But it seems like after about 5 minutes of the power being on, you get back used to it again and you take it for granted again. So I don't know if that's human nature or just me. But during this time, it's been really tough to keep up with what is going on. I've been trying to stay on Twitter because I could read some stuff, but I wasn't able to really watch videos super well because I think a cell tower. I don't know what the deal was, but my 4G on my phone just sucked, so I couldn't watch video. But I could read stuff. So Mark Wade is gonna go back to DC Comics. Uh, I would say like, oh, that's huge news, but so much time has wore on. Okay, sounds about right, I guess. So I want to talk about something a little bit different, especially because I saw your boy Zach's video on this, and I think he just his insight is probably more of what I want to hear anyway, besides my own. So I want to talk about something else. I've got a theory. Before I get into that though, Fatal's on Indiegogo right now. The link is in the description below this video, and we're $400 exactly shy of $50,000. There's 6 days left, and this is the first 30 days. We're going to extend the campaign, but if you help us get to $50,000, we're going to have a stretch goal. Everyone gets a fold out poster, and then I'm going to announce the next stretch goal, and we'll keep grinding through the campaign. So appreciate all of your support, everybody. Check it out, link in the description below. And this is genuinely fantastic comic book. All right, so this question was posed by TKO Presents, which if I stand back, well, wait, I'll go there later. Okay, first off, TKO Presents posed the question, how do you find out about new comic books? Now, I got to sit back and think about that for a minute. TKO Studios, I heard about them. I seen books that they were doing on Twitter, but I just scrolled on by. Didn't really think much of it. It was, I think, Eric Weathers that started telling me about some of the specifics with their publishing gimmicks, basically, that I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll have to look into them and see how it all works. So then I went ahead and bought a box set and a trade paperback just to compare them. So that's just one example, one publisher. That's how I found about this publisher, and it was more of like curiosity. Now, do I ever go back to TKO to look at what new books they have coming out? No. So it was actually the publishing gimmick that sort of sold me. Like I wanted to try it out and see how it was. And it was, okay, nice idea, but it still doesn't have me going back specifically for the new comics. And it got me thinking, here's my theory. There are so many books out there that you don't just hear about a book most of the time and you want to snag the book. I think that's such a rare thing. There has to be all these other additional reasons why you would want to back a book. Now, the TKO books I read, they had the Sarah book about the World War II sniper, Russian snipers. That was a really good book written by Garth Ennis. Very, very good. I really enjoyed it. But that's not what pulled me in. It was the gimmick surrounding the book that got me to back it, or not back it, but just buy it, to read it. So I think that you have to give people multiple reasons to buy a comic book, especially a new comic book. If it's something that they're already in search of, and if it's, Batman or Spider-Man or something that they've already been reading over and over again, they're going to be seeking those things out, and it's sort of habitual at that point. But for a new comic book, you have to give people multiple reasons. And I think a publishing gimmick is only going to last one time perhaps, unless you just really hook people on the book. But the thing is, I loved that book. I thought it was great, but it's one and done. It's over. There's no more. So then you have to sell me again on another new book. And that I see is sort of the problem with TKO Studios. Now, if they're just trying to make a book so that they can sell movie rights or something, then I guess that could work. But if you really want to get long-term comic book customers, you'd want to keep, feeding the habit. So, yeah. So, okay. So they pose a question. This is interesting still. Uh, so people said a whole bunch of things. Some people are saying they go in person to Midtown Comics, for example. Let's see. Looking through previews, that used to be how it worked. Then now it's just social media. Follow enough creators on Twitter and Instagram. If someone's not following, has a new book coming, I'll still hear about it. Twitter, Instagram, cbr.com, really. Sometimes podcasts and Comixology ads. Let's see, zerocomics.com. Okay, there's the ad there. Usually browsing my local store shelves. To me, I see that less and less now. Just for me personally, especially because you have to wear a mask to go there, to go look at the shelves. So it's just, I don't know. It just seems like a hassle. Most social media, podcasts and Twitter. Okay, so you're starting to notice a trend here. You have people that are going to comic book shops that have been used to it and they know the system. They're looking through previews. And then you have other people who are essentially on their daily lives going through Twitter, going through YouTube, going through those kinds of routes. That's where the comics are meeting them. And so there are two mindsets here. There's hunting and fishing. And if you're a publisher, it's easy to want to do the fishing thing. And this is exactly what Marvel and DC do because they've just been doing it for so long. They don't feel like they need to hunt, but I think they really ought to. They're just fishing. They're putting books out there and they're waiting for people to buy them. They're pretty happy with their customer base that they have. Smaller creators, newer creators, often where you have to get scrappy. Those are the ones that are out hunting, and they're specifically going to where people already are to tell them about their books. Those are two very different methods, and eventually, fishing's going to lose. It always does. The more hunting you do, the better off you're going to be. That's like a growth. That's how you get growth rather than just existing. Let's see, previews, Twitter, Instagram. I've got to figure out how to make Instagram work, guys. I feel like that's untapped potential. Podcasts, again, no one's going to say YouTube. They're always going to say podcasts because YouTube apparently has a stigma. I look for solicits at DC and Marvel. I read solicitations, previews. Okay, there's a lot of old ones. Comics news sites, Twitter, Instagram, internet reviews, trusted resources, review bloggers. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so the basically that's my theory: hunting, fishing, nothing new in business. But I think could you imagine if Marvel and DC did some hunting, maybe just for like a month? If they just said, "Okay, we're gonna switch things up. We're specifically going to go push these titles, even the big ones, even like Batman." I think their assumption is that everybody's already aware of it and that they're already buying it. But you could really do well to go find people and sell them specifically on this Batman story, the story arc, the current creative team, all that jazz, as though it were an indie book. And could you imagine the gains that they would see from that? I don't understand why they don't do more of it, but I guess it is what it is. With crowdfunding, it's the same kind of thing. You can do some fishing. You can just post stuff up on Indiegogo and just sort of wait for backers to come. But as you can see, it made a big difference. The fact that I wasn't posting videos for the past 5 days. You don't see Fatal on here anywhere. And that's because it was essentially in fishing mode. And we got backers and stuff, and I posted stuff on Twitter. But the more that you're just there, you're just available, you'll get backers here and there. But if you're actually promoting it, then if you're hunting for people, the fishing actually gets better. It improves because it gets more visibility. And so you sort of get incidental, uh, you know, sales. People are going to back it just because other people are backing it, you know? And so the fishing becomes more effective if you are hunting. Uh, anyway, so there we go. There's my video for the day. I'll have a new one tomorrow for sure. And let me know what you think about hunting and fishing and some of the other thoughts. Same question to where are you hearing about new comic books? I'm interested to know that. And if you haven't backed Fatal yet, please get in, help us get past that $50,000 mark. That's a very big landmark, and I cannot wait to cross that threshold. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.